Will this run after 30 years of sitting? Let's find out. Alrighty, let's see if we can get this. We'll give this engine a bill of health of some description. See whether it's any good or not. We'll start by the little ones or big ones. Burning alright. That's not too bad for sitting for 30 years. Hopefully you can see that. It's a good sign. Fuck yeah. It's probably running on leaded fuel or almost, I reckon. She was running pretty clean. It's a good sign, very good sign. Yeah, that one's pretty good too. A little bit of moisture in there, but that's not too bad. That must have a valve open. Oh, we'll screw a bit of shit down there. CRC. Start off. These balls. Yeah, she's original. Oh, girl. It's pretty free, right? I'm just going to get the rocket cover off. The rocket cover. Make sure all the valves are moving free. Try and attempt to start it. It looks bad on the outside because of all the surface. But I don't think it's as bad as what it seems, if you know what I mean. It's not so bad, but yeah, it's not that bad. No. It could be worse, if you know what I mean.
Need a bit of chuck plug on there.
Yeah. Bring my bloody rubber hammer. Fuck, it looks good to me.
Oh, nice.
Nice and clean.
Gee.
So nosy. Right, let's have a wee nosy. Just make sure all these valves are working. I'd say they are.
Everything's working.
Winter. Nothing stuck. Fuck, that's half the battle. Oh well. Oh well. I don't think I really need to put anything else in the cylinders. That should be okay. I think we'll just put the plugs back in since it's so clean and it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. I could just screw in a wee bit of ATF down there, I suppose, just to help, just in case the rings are stuck, to bring the compression up when we try to fire it. But I think it should be okay. Righty, so just got not long got back from the Mopar South, whatever it is, in Gore car run, or car show, part of the run. It was, I would say it was good, but it was in one of those spots where it was just jammed in a bit tight. I think it's just unfortunate. Yeah, quite a few years ago when the last one was in the local area, per se, if you know what I mean. It was a bit the same. I can't even remember when it was. I think it was actually before I went to Australia last. They have this, I think, every year, but they might have it once. It might be in the North Island one year and then the South Island one year, or it might go from the North Island and the South Island, but it goes to different areas of the islands, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this year they were back in Gore and they did a bit of a drive around yesterday. They actually come through the town that I live in, but the weather was just so bad, and I was doing other stuff. But anyway, we're going to head to the workshop, and so we've got the little Murray to go. So I've got the keys this time, and whatever. So also yesterday, I shot into town and I got some fuel. Fucking hell, I was having trouble saying this the other day. Some fuel hole, some fuel line hose, yeah, and to put on it. So I grabbed the little piece that was off the electric fuel pump and took that into town so I could at least put it back onto the pump, and we can draw from a jerry can or fuel can, whatever you want to call it, gas can, petrol can, spam can, I don't know, you know what I mean. So I can do that. And also when I was in town doing that, I'm getting really sick of dragging friggin' some tools back to this workshop. So I bought myself a reasonable priced 1/2-inch drive, 3/8 drive, 1/4 drive socket set. Not a really complete one, but a reasonable one, if you know what I mean. So it's got ratchets for all three, it's got extensions for all three, they're all just short sockets. I've got plenty of other stuff that I can move a little bit of stuff backwards and forwards, but it will just save me having to drag that stuff back here. I've got a set of spanners here. I've got those Whitworth spanners here. I don't know if I'm going to need Whitworth on this thing or not. I think it's after that. This one, it's being 62. I'm pretty sure they'd gone away from Whitworth by that stage. Whereas that early one was 48. So it was sort of like the first of them, per se. Like the little grey one that we were doing. Sorry, the camera's moving around. One day I'll get a better fucking solution in the car. Somebody threw the phone holders away that we had. Oh, they were actually better than the magnetic one I've got here. So yeah, we will have a play with the Murray, just about here. See if we can get this thing to run. So the other day we come in, and basically we sort of got to the point where we could have got it running if we could have got this started to wind over and whatever, but we had no keys. That was my biggest hang up. So at least we've got keys now, so if we can get the electrical system to work, if it will work properly, we should better wind it over with the key, or at least figure out why it's not winding over with the key, and a few things like that. So we've got fuel, we know we should have spark, we cleaned the points and everything the other day, they seem to be working. The motor's free, the valves aren't stuck, we've screwed some shit down the plug holes to at least let it soak. So yeah, that's all I wanted to kind of do today, and then tomorrow I might tackle that van, and maybe the missus was thinking about maybe spending a couple of hours pulling some stuff out of that car and labelling it up and whatever, and I can carry on welding on the van. I've also ordered myself a set of hammers and dollies. I wanted to order that planishing hammer, I just haven't done that yet. And I've ordered myself one of those magnetic digital level, it's not really angle finder levels, if you know what I mean. Those little square ones that you can stick on like a trans or a dip head or a motor or whatever, or the chassis and see if shit's level. I got myself one of those. It's coming as well. They weren't terribly expensive, about $60 or something here in New Zealand. I don't know whether that compares with other parts of the world. It's kind of irrelevant, if you know what I mean. See, it's a freaking door, I think. And yeah, we'll get in there. Righty, so this is the socket set I got. So just to give you a quick wee look. So yeah, it's just a generic 1/2 inch 3/8 quarter drive socket set with a few sockets, obviously, a couple extension spark plug sockets, saw, and a strong arm. That'll do me for what I need to hear most of the time. You know, I've got the extra stuff if I need it. So if I'm down here at some point and I find I can't get something off, like, or I need a deep socket, you know, I've got these ones, but I've got a pile of that other stuff in my other toolbox. So if I need something specific, you know, I can drag it back here. I can throw it in my tool bag that I drag around and bring it back here. Oh, the other thing I got is one of those seats. Well, I've actually got the same one at work. So, not that I bought it, was already there, and I thought, shit, that's freaking handy. I'll grab one for here. You know, it's just, I use that like plastic seat here for when I'm down low welding, or you got to sit and do welding like on a quarter panel or shit like that. That'll be far better because I can get down low or sit high in one plate, you know. Because that's okay, you know what I mean, but it's not quite the right thing. You know, I can move around on that, you know, if I can move up and down the panel or whatever, you know, if you're trying to, you know, weld around the corner, like, well, I'm going to be here very shortly. You know, not today, but probably, hopefully tomorrow, whatever, you know, we can do all that welding and I can get myself comfy and move around. Otherwise, that's good, but it's not ideal. But if I want to sit down and have a break for a minute, that's a far better seating position, if you know what I mean, for whatever. So yeah, so that'll save me dragging. You know, I've got a few sockets and bits and pieces and stuff in here, along with my hammers and dollies and shit that I've got. But I've also got a really good looking hammer and dolly kit coming. It's still only got 3 hammers, but it's got a pile of different dollies and spoons and different shape stuff in it. Not a whole heap, but it's not a bad looking kit. Yeah, and then that level. So we've got a bit of fuel line. We'll grab the keys, so we'll sit them on the seat for a moment. I've had the battery on charge, my big old battery out of the Ford. So that, you know, it'll do for what we need to do. And we've got that other jumper box thingy battery there. So I can probably hook this fuel line back up. No, we won't. No, it's already hooked to the carb. So all I need really to do is just poke that on there. I really probably don't need a clamp on it. I can. And we can sit this fuel can here. Hopefully it's long enough. It should be. We'll just open the top and poke that fuel line down in there. And then when we replace all this old shit, we'll use that. That should be enough to do what I need to do for here. If not, we'll go buy some more. But this should cover me for today. So I'll take that out. So that's, fuck, I don't know, on here somewhere. Let me put that in there. I might have to sit this up on something. It's not quite long enough for what I wanted. But that's alright, we can pop that up on that bucket. That'll do. Set that on here. So that should be in. Yep, that's in the fuel. Boy, quite a few inches. So we should be able to hook that back up. I know there's no water in it, well, or very little water in it. So I'll we got a fresh bucket of rainwater there from the rain the other day. I just poked it out there. So we might get one of the paint cups. I've got a fuller. Actually, no, we won't. We won't do that just right away. We'll see if we can get the bark off, and then we can tip some water in it, and then see if at least the system holds water. Just in case it springs wet and pisses water everywhere, and then we can kind of assess that situation. We'll see if we're able to hold water long enough to just at least go through a heat cycle. As long as it's not blowing water out, if you know what I mean. So, set up that there. We don't need that volt gate, or not the, well, we don't need the multimeter now. So you can poke that there. Set that there. I'll start this again. Right. So, we will actually plenty good enough. We might actually throw that on that other jump pack just in case. A little juice up. Right. Like that. Let's hook up the battery. Shouldn't need that, hopefully. Put this on. Pocket. Right, so if we turn the ignition on with key, or at least might turn over. Up in there. Alrighty, I think I got no spark. That's part of the problem. I just tighten this, took that wire out and tighten this back up a little bit. We'll see if that helps. If not, the only plug I've got around here is an old 6-volt one out of Sturdy. I can probably rob, I'll probably pull that one out to be honest. Let's try it again. See, I'll give that another wee. Screw the brake line down there. Oh, just because I don't know whether that fuel's getting to it, if you know what I mean. Come on. Spray down the fucking hole. Get a decent dose. Just to make sure it barks off, you know. Not because I want to make the rub on the fucking stuff. why. Get you right in on the points. I want to see if they are opening and closing properly. It's probably a little far away, but that'll tell. Yeah, it looks like they're opening and closing okay. I just thought maybe they'd, you know, not to say they're pretty out of adjustment or something stupid. Yeah, fucking original. Little still front keeps going. Actually get down close here. Better look. I just want to see if they're actually. It's a little bit hard to see by the naked eye, if you know what I mean. Well, not by the naked eye, but just to get a decent view.
Give it a light on the subject if we can. Yeah, they're definitely closing. Definitely closing. Come on, phone, focus. Yeah, like they're definitely closing. We don't really tickle up with the we don't really tickle up with the fucking little bit of paper.
Right. Scratch.
Stay in here, that's all. Fortunately, I have a points file. You know you want to go. Probably or something. Yeah, working now.
Cool. Some action now. It's not even fucking flooded the fucking thing.
Having fucking fuel pump on all the time. Kick back on. Hopefully.
You know, without having spend a bunch of money to try and make it run, which, you know, it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean? If we can get it to run on whatever it's going here at the moment, it'd be freaking nice.
No, we squirt just in case. I'll soon know if the carburetor's working because it'll keep, you know, keep running. We'll make sure we've got something for a start. Yes. Wonder if we're not getting any fuel. Because it tried to fire. Tried to fire. Any fuel coming? A little bit. Not a lot though, is it? Not a lot though. Just grab some shit in the cab. Gotta get fucking, at least try to get run for half a minute. Or half a second. 2 or 3 fires out of it, if you know what I mean. Lots to go. Lots to go. We need fuel. We need fuel. We don't have fuel. Just need fuel in the car. Let's see if we got any fuel here. I just hoping to run it, you know. Gotta push some fuel over there. Maybe it's not picking it up. Let's pull this off. See if at least the pump is pushing fuel over. Oh, looks like it. This could be all gummed up too, fuck, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Turn it on for a split second and we'll just see if we get 15 split fuel in there. Fire it a little bit. Let's see. Pump anything? Not really, is it? There we go. No. Okay. Let's just disconnect the battery for a second. Oh, now the fuel. It might be right. Well, who knows what the car's going to work or not, but we've actually got fuel here now. I don't reckon we had fuel before. It's free, but we don't know whether it's gummed up or not. So let's try again. Another week. Actually, what we should do is just put a bit of fuel in the fucking car out. Yeah, so close. So close. Just throw half a decent dash in the cab. A decent dash. habitual fire now, eh? Still fucking videoing. Yep, awesome. Battery oil. Fucking run! Whoa, beauty! Fucking run, please. I don't think I'm sorry, God. That's fucking sweet as fun. Normal pusher gauge. Seems to be fine though, like it's not fucking rattling or anything. So there's an oil pressure light that doesn't seem to be going out, but that's not to say there's not something wrong with that. So there's the oil pressure switch. Make sure it's connected. On here. Can't see oil pressure gauge. Fucking really need one, don't I? So it runs. It fucking runs. Which is absolutely awesome, and it seems to be fine. It's an electrical gauge too, it's not mechanical. It's just a warning light. So if the switch is fucked, it doesn't need anything. we'll get this there. Doesn't appear to be a lot, does there? Doesn't appear to be a lot. We won't run it anymore until we make sure we do have oil pressure. Which is a bit of a bummer, but it runs. I'm not 100% sure with the oil pumps. Might be on the side of the block. I'm not 100% sure on those little things. But again, I'll soon find out. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's had. It might have a little bit of oil up here, but if it was just iron there like that, I would expect to be, you know, oil flowing quite freely. But it runs. It does run. It's just fucking awesome. Oh, we might leave it here for the moment. Yeah, but 30 years of sitting, she runs. Well, it's good, at least it's a little pressure.
Aye.
That much. I know that much.
Yeah.
Right?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
It's 30. Doesn't matter. I can run it from now.
Aye.
I can get it running from now.
You can.
Oh yeah, like I can at least I can run it now.
Yeah.
Run up the oil pressure. Come back on a little later.
She said you can format, isn't it? On the side of it?
Yeah. Just the grass is still on the steering wheel.
Aye.
Grass is to the steering wheel.
Right, this one.
Yep. A little bit of choke.
Right there.
Yeah.
She's sweet as a bloody nut in the motor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to know.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a big expense if it's,
Aye.
that's a big expense if it's forked.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yep. Do you want to put that back in? See the little white go there?
Oh, I can do it later. Yeah, don't worry about it later.
I'll take it out, get it back in and stop it up. Give it to me, will you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's alright. I got it.
There you go.
You just grab your crutches.
Aye.
Grab your crutches. Thank you.
It's alright.
That's good. We know it's pretty solid, clean bill of health.
Yeah. She got her original bloody
Crank handle.
cradle.
Righty, so to give you a rundown what me and my dad did yesterday, so we took the original sender out, but to get it out, because we couldn't get onto here very well, had to take this pipe off that runs through into the oil filter housing, had to pull the distributor out so we could get that out and then screw this in, which I think is actually just a pressure gauge off an old compressor with a this is a fixable grease gun nozzle hose. So yeah, it worked fine. It was just a matter of what we could find.
Dad used to have a screw and pressure gauge like this or whatever, but it was just what we could find in amongst his bits and pieces, and he's got like a whole heap of like those brass type fittings and stuff. So we managed to get that back in yesterday at the end of the last clip, and then we didn't quite have the timing right. I think we had a couple of plugs ran the wrong way because Dad couldn't remember. Well, we didn't double check, but Dad just couldn't remember the exact firing order, so we had to swap it around and then just move the timing a little bit to get it to run. So what I'd like to do today, now that we know that the oil pressure is good, and before we screwed this gauge on, we got a oil can with a bit of 2050 in it, and we forced it down that hose, which is apparently the oil pumps in the back of the block there, according to Dad. So we thought that was probably just for sitting for 30 years, just had no oil in there at all, and it wouldn't draw anything from the sump. Just because it was totally dry. Apparently Dad said they used to be a bit of a pig after you rebuilt one. If you didn't prime the pump, they would sort of, we wouldn't say 9 times out of 10, but close to that, they wouldn't draw the oil up from the sump to build oil pressure. So you had to be careful. So yeah, that was probably just from straight out sitting for so freaking long. Everything was in the sump, and it just wouldn't build oil pressure. So I just pushed it back a little bit. I put a wee bit of water in it yesterday, which you've seen on the video, and it's still there. So that's cool. I'm not sure how much water was in it before then. It might have just slowly crept down. So I'd like to try and get it to run for a bit longer now. I just didn't want to do it with Dad here because he's not very well. He's got bad on his left hip. He's got a big massive growth and he can't stand for very long, and he's pretty weak now. He's pretty frail on his feet. But his wealth of knowledge is huge when it comes to this sort of stuff, because this is the sort of stuff that he was rebuilding all the time back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and stuff like that. Like when he had his parts, like he's a motor mechanic. That was his trade way back in the day. And like he was forever rebuilding this sort of stuff. Doing rebuilds and whatever. And then in the early days of them having the automotive dismantling yard, they would pull all the motors out of cars that they'd bring in to dismantle, rebuild them, and they would sell 90% of those engines, and they'd just get the old engines as exchange, and then they'd rebuild them and sell them again. Like especially a lot of the old English stuff that sort of disappeared once the Japanese stuff really came into the market, because they lasted a lot longer. Like these were pretty soft. The bores weren't real hard like the Japanese stuff was, and the rings weren't real hard, so they didn't last as long. 100,000 miles sort of type thing, and these were starting to get pretty breathy and heavy. Whereas the Japanese stuff, 300,000 or 400,000 k's, miles, whatever, and as long as you keep the oil changes to them, they're normally still going. So, but these things, if you're getting much over 100,000 k's, they're starting to get pretty tired. But anyways, we'll see if we can get this fired back up, and let's see if we can let it run and get a good heat cycle in it, and just see that it's not got a blown head gasket or anything else silly like that after getting hot. Just poke the cam on the tripod.
runs really good. Carburetor needs a little bit of work, it won't run without the choke, but and we've got it stripped out and the doors off so far. The windscreen out. But yeah, looking good so far.